Hi Fabrice, what are we doing today?
All right, today we are at the end of March.
Yeah.
We're thinking about getting basil started.
Okay.
So we can do basil from seed. Here's
Yeah.
basil seed. It's tiny. It takes forever. That's going to take at least 2 months to get to something this size.
Wow.
So once it gets going, but it's slow to start when it's
Okay.
small. The other way we can do it, and so I'm going to suggest today, is to get a plant from the supermarket.
Okay.
And
Yep.
propagate from that.
Oh, brilliant.
So we can do this in 2 ways. One way
Yeah.
is just to take a cutting
Yeah.
and root that in water. They root very, very fast in water.
Okay.
So when you take a cutting, some tips are use your sharpest secateurs, not these. Have the blade
Yep.
pointing towards the bit you want to keep. So we want to keep this bit. The sharp end is on the side of the bit we want to keep.
Okay.
That means you get a very, very nice clean cut and you don't get any bruising.
Okay, great.
Once you've done that, take off the bottom leaves
Yeah.
and you've got your cutting ready. All you now need to do is stick it in a glass of water, like we did earlier there. This is a crap glass of water because it's really deep, but it's all I could find in the greenhouse.
So you want a shallow little glass, do
Yeah,
you?
not this, because they keep falling in.
Okay.
And that will take maybe 2 weeks to root. If it's warmer, it will root faster.
Okay.
It won't root at the bottom of the fridge.
Okay.
The
So
oth-
you put that on a window ledge?
Yeah, windowsill. Sunny
Okay.
windows, so lots of light, bit of warmth.
Okay.
It'll be fine. You can also actually, there's different kinds of basil you can get in the market. So this came from the Chinese shop in the market, and this is Thai basil,
Wow.
which, oh my God, I love this so much. And again, exactly the same thing. Take off the bottom leaves,
Yeah.
cut to a node.
Oh, so you just take the bottom centimetre off
Yeah, the
or
stuff
whatever?
basically you're taking off the stuff that's going to be underwater and it's going to rot off.
Okay.
There's no point keeping that.
Okay.
So you take that off. There you are. You will have basil plants really, really quickly. So there you have it. You've got enough for a whole hedge of basil in the summer there.
Wow. And you can just take every single piece out of there, cut the end off, take the leaves off,
Yeah,
and then
Got
put
to
it in
be
water.
long enough for it, for there to be a bit which is above the water and a bit
Okay.
below. And you've got to cut to a node. If you just leave little bits dangling like that below a node, this probably isn't going to do very much. It might root or it might just rot off.
Okay.
So I tend to cut to a node, but
Okay.
you know,
Great.
you're probably not going to lose anything if you don't.
Okay. Brilliant.
Other thing you can do with this pot, if you're really in a hurry,
Yeah.
is divide it up.
Wow.
There's
Okay.
there's no good horticultural reason why you'd want to grow basil this close together.
Okay.
This is purely so that the pot looks full when you buy it in the shops and you've got lots to harvest. So each of these is just raring to be much, much happier on its own.
Wow.
You can just tear the plants apart. You can be quite brutal with these things, but leave a bit of root at the bottom. Put them in a pot and then compost. With plants like this, I will actually bury the stems because they will root again from the stem and form a new roots from the stem. So there you have it. Here's your basil plant. Honestly, it works really well.
And
You've
that
got
will grow
enough
on-
here to basically see all your summer, to meet all your basil needs, and that will grow on fine. Keep it warm.
So that will
Keep it in the
actually
sunny-
grow into a big bush. You don't have to take the tip out and
All
then
right,
it will
no.
spread.
Well, you can do. Now, the thing about pruning basil is, after a certain point, particularly if you're using an older plant, like a plant which is already, which has already
Yeah.
been growing for a few months, like this material,
Yeah.
it will start to want to flower. It will flower at the tip. So what you can do is pinch out the tip,
Yeah.
and that makes the plant bushier. It's also the way to harvest it. If you take the leaves from the bottom and let it grow out the top, you end up with flowers at the top and no leaves down below,
Right.
and it's not good basil. You want it to be, but you want to pinch the tips out, take out the flowers, stop it flowering because it goes downhill when it flowers, and make it a nice bushy plant, like a little round bush. Over time, twigs get smaller and smaller and smaller, and it becomes more and more fiddly.
Right.
At that point, you can go in with a pair of secateurs and give it a really big haircut, and that will force it to put some really strong stems up from the base, a bit like this shoot here.
Okay. Brilliant. Well, thank you for that, Fabrice. That's basil.
So that's basil.